Hi everyone, and welcome to this week's show. I got a mixed bag of questions this week, so let's just start with the first one. The first one is, what do you think of skeptics? People who try to disprove mediumship or aliens or UFOs or any of the paranormal. Healthy skepticism is good. Abnormal is not. And I really, that word is pretty broad, skepticism, because I have seen skeptics, but I have not seen skeptics who truly believe their skepticism. And by believe, I mean they're not passionate about it. They're not out there adamantly trying to prove you wrong. Instead, they're standing there saying, no, 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 no. And to me, that's not skepticism, but that seems to be what's out there. Now, I'm sure there are people out there who have healthy skepticism and who are very adamant in what they believe. But as far as mediumship goes, I don't feel the need to prove myself. I prove myself to my client. I'm here for that person. I'm not here for the skeptic. Skeptics, I really think, unless you're really trying to prove somebody deliberately did something wrong, I don't see the need for it. Next question is, why don't you give more detailed information on the topics you discuss? And the reason for that is because I want you to educate yourself. This video blog is just to give you a sense of what is out there, what possibilities, are beyond your current scope of information, and to let you go find out more. Because my opinion is just that, my opinion. And you need to develop your own opinion by doing your own research, by reading your own books. I find out most of my information, God love it, at the public library. Free books, where else can you go and get free books and, get great information? But, don't just stop with one book. When I go to the library, I come home with 12 books on a subject. And I might not read all 12 books, but there might be a piece of each book that, pulls me to read it, to want to know that information. So, I encourage you to go out and find more information for yourself. Next question is, and this I had to look up, what is a career intuitive? And once I figured out what it was, it's not necessarily what you think. There is a person out there, and I'm sorry I don't remember her name. I'm sure there are others. The one I found, she is a career planner. That's what she does for a living. But by connecting into her intuitive abilities, she's able to really see what that person that she's trying to help, what career path they should really be on, and what would make them most happy, and how they can get there. So that is what a career intuitive is. It's not like a medium or an intuitive telling you, this is your path, this is where you should be going. That's a little different. Although I encourage you to find that out and then maybe, follow the advice of a career intuitive. And another question is addictions. Why do we have addictions? The question is, why do our karmas come in the form of addictions? And not all karmas come in the form of addictions, but major issues come in forms of addictions. And really, being in the physical body is an addiction itself. There's such a broad realm of what addictions are, and I'm not just talking about drugs and alcohol. I'm talking about television. What do you think a couch potato is? It's someone who's addicted to the TV. What about, someone who's addicted to the computer? If you're doing something more than an hour a day, you're addicted. Truly. And I know there's people out there who, no, I have to watch the news. I have to watch this. You don't have to watch anything. You choose to do those things. Those are choices that you make. So by allowing yourself to feed into that, you allow the addiction to grow. And most people don't get it until they cross over and they look back and they, see, that it was an addiction, that it was something that held them down and kept them from being who they're meant to be. I have an addiction to television. I don't know why, I don't know how. I'm not a fan of television, which is why I don't watch it. However, when I do sit in front of the TV, it's like I have to know what's coming in the next half hour. I'm not even done watching a half hour now, but I'm wondering what I'm going to be watching a half hour from now. That's an addiction. That's not good. Turn it off. And another question I got from Catherine in South Africa, she wanted to know about negative energies. When we're in our down states, can lower entity beings feed off of us? And yes and no. If you have addictions, if you have those physical substances like drugs, alcohol, that lower your physical resistance as well as your emotional resistance, and then you get in a very negative state at the same time, yes, lower entities who have not evolved, who are in limbo because they were addicted so much in their life, yes, they can find you. They feed off that energy, and they can keep you in a low state. However, that doesn't happen very often. That's kind of the exception to the rule. What normally happens is we get in such a negative state that our emotional self and everything around us that we've taken in that's been negative bombards us. And so we think we're being possessed or taken over, and we're really not. It's our own mental state kind of beating ourselves up. And so it'll take a while, but get yourself out of that negative state and you'll notice that it just goes away. If it doesn't go away, then you have an issue. Then you have something. Either you need psychological counseling, you need someone to help you work through that, or you do have some dark entity attached to you. But like I said, that's not very common. So if you're noticing this, then it's probably not an entity, because usually the entity just kind of takes over and you don't realize it, and nobody really realizes it. They just think it's you and your personality. So the next time you feel drained or down and you kind of feel yourself being pulled down, pull yourself back up. Go for a walk. Being out in nature and in the fresh air is the number one thing that can clear you. Take a shower. Your body is 98% water. Water clears you because you have this water on the inside. You're clearing yourself on the outside. It's a molecular structure thing. I'm sorry, I'm not a scientist, so I have no idea what that is or how to explain that. So, and the last question I got this week was, what is your perception of the other side as a medium? All mediums have different perceptions of the other side. As you know, Sylvia Brown, just to give her as an example, she believes very much in Christ. She believes in that Christian concept. And then there are mediums who, believe differently. It's kind of a mixed bag. My perception of the other side is not necessarily that there is a God in the sense of the Bible writes about a God, as there is a conscious being or conscious energy on the other side that we all resonate from. I think sometimes in history, when people have used words to describe things, even Moses, he had to write his interpretation of what God was telling him. And he used the word God. I use the word God because I was going to say I was trained a Catholic, because I was raised a Catholic, but if you're a Catholic, you understand that, and you're laughing your head off. Those are the words that I know. So I use that word God. But what I mean is this huge source of energy on the other side that loves us, that we're a part of, that we're connected to, that we're all connected to and from. So my perception of the other side is pretty grand. When you're in this life and you have a religion, you see religion as you see the world as you need to see it on the other side when you cross over. And I think I'm going to stop for now, and I'm going to do a part 2 because that's a really deep subject. So check out the next one.